This episode brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Leaders of the taste, Oodle Noodle brings the flavor of 8 countries to the West, now with 17 locations, including Airdrie and soon to be a location in Calgary. Welcome in to another edition of Battle of Alberta Banter. Or is
this
it
makes
banter?
No sense.
Can is we it call Banter it Battle of Alberta now?
It can't be Battle of Alberta when one of the parties is removed from the equation.
Well, it was going to be a new name, but you guys renewed my contract for BOA Banter, so we have to keep the name. I thought I was going to get turf for sure.
Now just hold on. Are you getting paid to be here? Because I don't think me and Kumar.
What happened is in the first round, or in the second round of the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers played the Calgary Flames. It was the Battle of Alberta, and there's one Flames fan on our staff. That's Printzy. And we're like, okay,
hold on.
Let's do
Flames fan on our staff. Like we're an accounting firm, eh? And Printzy's the guy down the street with like one flag in his office. He is FlamesNation. He maketh the content.
Apparently we employ a bunch of Flames fans because we have a Calgary Flames website. I know nothing about this. I don't know. I'm
claptrap.
I don't know. But anyways, we had so much fun, and we thought this Battle of Alberta series was going to go 7 games. The Flames didn't show up. And the Oilers were in the Western Conference Finals, and Printzy wanted to continue doing content with us, so he's going to keep.
And we wanted to keep with Printzy too. It wasn't one way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know, but I was a little.
You were aggressively recruited.
You guys sold me. You guys sold it to me, and
you were remarkably an Oilers guy on the entire idea. I won't lie. Yeah. I was like, Printzy, let's keep going. You're like, I don't know, man. I got like some shit to do.
He started to fall in love with the Oilers and their game during the Battle of Alberta series, and now it's Battle of Alberta Banter Colorado Edition, in which me, Cam, I'm the impartial host. Wanye is the Oilers fan. Printzy is impartial. The Flames fan. No, you're partial. You're an Oilers fan.
Oh, I'm partial. You motherfucker!
Yeah.
I know
you're partial.
I know I'm partial.
I'm impartial. I'm objective. I'm the host. I don't cheer for anybody. I just
bullshit.
I just cheer for good content. Okay. You cheer for the Oilers. Printzy cheers for the Flames. So what we're going to do is recap what happened in game 1, another wet and fucking wild hockey game for the Oilers, as per always in game 1s for this team. Against Los Angeles, Mike Smith had his gap. He threw the puck away. They lost. Against the Flames, the final score was like 26-5, something like that. It was nuts. And then against Colorado, the Oilers go up 1-0. Colorado scores 2. Edmonton ties it. And then we have a weird goal late in the first that we'll touch on later. Colorado goes up 3-2. The Avs sort of start running away with it in the second period. The Oilers come back and make it interesting in the third, but the comeback falls short and the Avs win 8-6. I'm going to start with Printzy. What did you see from the Oilers in game 1 of their series with the Avalanche?
Well, kind of what I thought was going to happen. And I talked to a couple guys within Oilers Nation about this is, they came out, looked pretty good, but I think the Avalanche responded to something they're not quite used to with Calgary. I think they just maybe got a little overwhelmed with Colorado because they played LA Kings, not a great team. They played an awful Calgary team, and then you're making clip that. They played an awful Calgary team, and then they made the jump up to an elite Colorado team. So I'm thinking that they got overwhelmed a little bit. I didn't think that they were going to come back and get all the way up to 6 goals. I thought it was going to be done when they had 3 goals, and I thought Colorado was going to get to 10. But that's the Edmonton Oilers for you. So, like I said, I think they got a little overwhelmed. I believe they're going to settle in for game 2. They're too good not to do that again. And we'll get into it a little bit later. And Colorado might be in trouble with a goalie. So it kind of expected. Like I wasn't expecting them to win. Was I expecting a big shootout like that? Maybe, not really. I don't know. But we're in for a wild series, that's for sure.
Wanye, what do you think? What's your impression on the Oilers in game 1? Are you worried at all? Are you still feeling good? Because I know
not
you
the
were
least. This feel great.
You were feeling good about this series. You were feeling good about this.
Smell the air. It's conference finals. Yes, glorious. Thin. The air is thin due to the heights we've ascended to. I wouldn't be worried. I think that the Oilers, sure, they're overwhelmed. I don't think that's an unreasonable statement to make, but it reminded me a lot of game 1 against Calgary, where you came away from a 9-6 game and you're like, do I feel like the Flames are going to score 9 goals on us every game? Hell no. Do I feel like the Oilers could continue to score at this 6 goals per game pace? Probably. Right. And now I come away after game 1 of Colorado. I'm like, was it 8-6 final, right?
Yeah. 8-6, correct.
Do I think the Oilers are going to let in 8 goals every game? Fuck no. Do I think they can keep scoring at this pace on Colorado? Whether it's Kemper or whatever the hell the other guy's name is, I refuse to learn it. I think these guys are going to let in 6 goals every game. Like, I don't think it's going to be a contest. When all said and done, the Oilers will win this series.
I wonder if this is going to wind up being like one of the highest scoring series of all time. Like, I don't think I didn't look into the stats for this, but I'm sure there's some random series in the 80s where there was like 127 goals scored.
The Cleveland Barons versus the New Jersey Devils played in 1981. One game was suspended due to chronic smoking in the arena. They had to suspend play for 45 minutes, and it was 9.3 goals per game on average.
That was way too quick. How did you have that?
Wait, did you say Cleveland Barons and New Jersey Devils? Didn't the Cleveland Barons become the New Jersey Devils?
Listen, Coom, we could go back in time and analyze who became what until the cows came home.
So I'm thinking that there's a pretty reasonable chance that this series, if it goes 7 games, that it's going to be like the highest scoring series that we've seen in like 30 years. It wouldn't be shocking if we saw an average of 8, 9, 10 goals a game. I would not be shocked.
Did you think that after the Calgary series, though? After game 1 in the Calgary series, we all thought that. And then look what happened. Well, I guess my team didn't do their part, but that's like
we turned up. We did great.
Yeah.
Markstrom's still nursing injuries from all the pucks that went off of him and into the net.
I'll give Markstrom credit. He said he was not injured. He just said he sucked. So give credit for that.
Good to be honest. So things to talk about. Speaking of goaltending, Mike Smith had another kind of weird Mike Smith game, and Mikko Koskinen comes in, and he, unfortunately for him, winds up getting tagged with the L, which I think is kind of bullshit because he played quite well. Only allowed 1 goal. Smith allowed 6, and then 1 goes in the empty net. So the question is, do the Oilers continue rolling with Mike Smith? I think we probably we think they're going to go back to the guy that got him there, right? Because he's done this before. He's had his gaps or his rough game. He made his mistake against LA. He had, the ugly game against Calgary, and then he always bounces back and is quite good. But
he needs that gaff to calibrate his goalie brain.
Right.
He can't just come in and have everything work out and be like, oh, great, I'm amazing. He needs to be thoroughly embarrassed, waterboarded by failure. Then he regroups and he comes flying back in the next save or the next period or whatever he needs. And then he's great, but he needs to play from a position of being vulnerable.
Right.
I think you put him on a short leash. I think you keep playing him, but you put him on a short leash.
How short is that leash?
Like another game. So if it's a high scoring game and the Colorado Avalanche beat the Oilers 5-2 or something like that, I don't know if I'd go back to him.
What is this? The strategy that gets you out in 5 against the Oil? Don't apply your weird ass.
I know how to get out in 5. That's
we don't have my mind. Mike Smith is on a long leash, and if he wants to go for a skate around the neutral zone, we say, "Hey, Mike, give her hell, bud."
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
So on the other side,
at this point, we got the wonky system of Mike Smith, Mikko Koskinen, and we're gonna ride it through, boys. This is what we got.
On the other side of this discussion, you have Colorado, who's also in kind of a weird goalie situation because Darcy Kemper, who was a starting goalie throughout the year and has dealt with injuries in the past, whether it was when he was with Arizona, even this season, he spent some time on the injured reserve. Darcy Kemper leaves the game with an upper body injury. And of course, they're being super ambiguous, super quiet with it. So we're not going to know what it is. And then Pavel Francouz comes in and he's, fine, gets the job done. Do the Avalanche fans worry about the situation they're in? Or are they cozy with their backup goalie? Like, is there any concern there for them at all?
Francouz. What kind of name is that? This guy's a bum. He's a bum. Get this bum out of here. That's what I say. Get out of here, bum.
I don't know, man. Like the tough thing about Kemper is we don't know the extent of the injury. It's the next day, our post game show. It's the next day, so we don't have a whole lot of insight on the injury. One thing that I have kind of looked back on is in the regular season, when he's felt a little bit of injury, I noticed that they've pulled him sometimes earlier than expected. There was a few games this year where he got yanked and people are like, what's going on? Well, they were winning. So they might've been, I don't know if the thought was maybe he strained something and we got to pull him up. We're up 6-3 halfway through the game. Let's pull him out. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's in the net. You've got McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman coming at you. It doesn't matter to me. So
if you're hurt, you're in deep, deep shit.
Yeah. That's the advantage for the Oilers. If he's already still an elite goaltender, if he's hurt, the Oilers have the edge. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
That's why it all kind of ties back to me, is I think this is, no matter what, going to be a high scoring series, whether the Oilers roll with Smith, they go with Koskinen, whether Kemper's injured, whether he's not. I don't think it really matters. This is not, the Eastern Conference final where it's Vasilevsky and Igor Shesterkin, like the best goalie on goalie matchup in the league right now. This is a weird collection of random enigmatic goalies in the Western Conference Finals. It is I think both teams should, the Oilers should look into maybe playing Smith and Koskinen at the same time and just seeing what happens.
Come on, man. You really need to have fucked up if you're Mike Smith to lose the helm of the ship this far into the playoff, right? Ain't nobody playing no Mikko Koskinen. Come on.
No, there's no way. Smith got you here. You're gonna ride or die.
Isn't he already signed with another team or something?
Koskinen signed.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Printzy, don't worry about where Mikko's going next year. That's Mikko's business. We're worried about the now.
Bring old Stuart Skinner out of the box.
He's going to play for Roberto Luongo in Switzerland, is what I was told.
That's right.
Sure.
That's right.
So
what's the team actually called, Coop?
Lugano?
Yeah.
Lugano in Switzerland.
Luongo.
Roberto Luongo. Correct.
The taxes are low. The pressure is low. The pay is moderate. Mikko will thrive.
The vibes are good.
You got that Oilers money in the bank for the rest of your days in your new Swiss bank account. What are you worried about if you're Mikko? Mike Smith, on the other hand, is a battler. He's in there. He's grinding. He doesn't have any other plans.
Well, Mike Smith's probably going to get signed to like a 3-year contract extension by the Oilers this summer.
Yeah,
He's
earning it.
Oh,
if the Oilers get through this playoff round, and even if they come up short in the Stanley Cup final, if they get to the finals with Mike Smith, give him an 8-year extension. I don't give a fuck.
An 8-year extension.
Sure, why not? Play him until he's 50.
I remember where the
Oilers
legend. I remember where I was when the Oilers announced they'd signed Javi Bulin to a 4-year deal. Do you know how epically bad of a goalie signing it needs to be for me 8 years later to remember where I was when I heard the news? Insane. I wouldn't put anything past anyone in this organization.
Was he that bad for the Oilers?
What? He got arrested. He got arrested between the time he signed and arrived. He got arrested. Why are we talking about Javi Bulin? We're in the Western Final. What kind of battle of Alberta is this?
Javi Bulin. He had actually one pretty decent year with the Oilers there in 2011-12. He played 40 games and put up a 9-10.
No, don't bring him up. Don't bring him into this. We do not need to talk about Nikolai Javi Bulin in our finest hour.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. It's 2022, and the Oilers are in the Western Conference Finals, and Connor McDavid's on pace to score 90 points in the playoffs. We shouldn't be talking about those years. So let's move on and talk about something much better, which is that fucking offside goal that
this is just it.
Yeah,
is that sustainable? Will you have a coach's challenge that results in a goal against in the power play when they're wrong both times? This will never happen again.
Well, so this is kind of the thing, just to set the table, is the Oilers had just tied the game late in the first period at 2-2. Brett Kulak throws the puck in front of the net, and Zach Hyman tips it in. And then, like 9 seconds later, Cale Makar picks up the puck at Edmonton's blue line and goes in and roofs a shot on Mike Smith. And it looked like, I think it's Val Nichushkin was offside. He was still in Edmonton's zone. And they went upstairs to check. And what they said was, while Makar was reaching kind of for possession of that puck, he didn't have possession because the puck was kind of bouncing a bit. He didn't have full possession. And then Nichushkin got out, tagged up, came back in, and then Makar had possession. So that's why it wasn't offside.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I don't know. But also that being said, the Oilers allowed 8 goals. It was an unfortunate, a bit of a backbreaker, but you're only down 3-2 at that point, it's not like
they got the power play goal and went 4-2.
That's true. Yeah, they did wind up. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a 2-goal swing, but what I was going to say was it's not like the situation with the Flames where they could say, it's late in an elimination game. We get this review. It completely changes the game. There was still 40 minutes left for the Oilers to tighten up defensively, start playing a different game. And that didn't happen. So I'm not sure if we can gripe about this being a complete game changer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you look at it, it's if you're going word by word, sentence by sentence, that's the rule. He wasn't touching the puck when he went over the line. But it's such a fast game. It's so when you watch it in real time, you can't even tell. But then you slow it down and you see it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel for you guys, but at the same time, I don't, because we just went through the same fucking thing, and it was pretty funny to watch all the angry tweets and see the video of our guy Rick down at the Pint downtown screaming, "Why? Why?" and fans in the background yelling, "This is a fixed league." So I mean, I got a good kick out of that. It's one game, but like you guys said, it wasn't the tying goal with a minute left in the third period. It was in the first period. The Oilers had their chances. They didn't get their goaltending. It sucks. Trust me. I know what it's like. It sucks. Move
Do
on.
ya?
Yeah, no, I just a little bit. I wasn't reminded of it at all on Twitter last night.
No. Does it remind you of a 2004 situation?
No, not quite, because the cup was on the line. This was just game one of the West Final.
Wanya, what do you think? Are you rattled about that? Are you shook by it? Should Oilers fans be pissed off? Should we think that the fix is in? Is Gary Bettman trying to screw us?
Gary Bettman, first of all, Gary
Sorry.
Bettman takes these calls at home. I know for a fact. He has a special phone in his library. And when the phone rings, they're like, "Hello, Gary, would you like to fuck over the Oilers?" He's like, "Do it." And he puts the phone down. And then he goes and has a cigar in his humidor lounge room. Having said that, it's like game one against Calgary. It's good to get all your bad luck out of the way, right? If that Mike Smith needs to show up, I'm glad he showed up in game one, not in game 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to have a goal like that, which I think is an egregious call, go now. Doesn't matter. We can come back from this in the series. It's not a key goal at a key time, like you said, Coom. It's all good, man. There's nothing to worry about.
Good vibes only?
There's nothing to worry about. The Oilers are going to win game 2.
There's no sense looking at it. There's no sense looking back at it.
Fuck. Who cares? Colorado isn't very good, though, straight up. Really? I was not impressed last night. No, their goaltending is shit.
Yeah,
and then it got hurt.
Yeah.
And now new shit showed up with an unpronounceable name, and he's no good either.
I wasn't impressed by their defensive game. Like, watch, McKinnon was flying around out there, but that's expected. That's like McDavid. But yeah, if the Avalanche want to win, they got to keep the puck out of the net, because the Oilers aren't going to stop.
Yeah,
I don't think they can score 8 again. And
I don't
get
think so
the
either.
Call and get all that, but I think we could keep the pace of 6 up indefinitely.
Yeah,
it's always possible. So we're feeling comfortable about an Oilers bounce back in game 2. That's what we've seen each time. Against LA, they bounced back, played great in game 2. Against Calgary, had another very good game 2. Against Colorado, we're expecting a W in game 2. That's what we're feeling.
If I see that weirdo goalie in net in warm-up, I know this is on. We're going to chase him out of there, and their e-bug's going to come in. Their backup bloody lighting assistant for ColoradoAvalanche.com is going to have to go in net. We're going to shell that idiot out of the way, too.
I am feeling a bounce back win for the Oilers, too. Like I said that before. I thought that for sure that they were going to come into Colorado, get overwhelmed a little bit. Maybe the air got to them. Who knows? They're going to settle in. They're going to play their game. The bonus is, if you're playing the backup, take advantage. Take absolute advantage of playing the backup. We don't know yet. We don't know the diagnosis of Kemper, and you're not too sure. But you have to come back with the split. Knowing what my team went through, having to be down multiple games, like you got to come back with the split, and then you got to try to get up one right away at home, because we know you absolute mutant Oiler fans are just going to be out in flocks at the Moss Pit, at Rogers Place, at the Pint downtown. Colorado will get overwhelmed. Trust me, they will get overwhelmed in Edmonton.
It's gonna be a hell of an experience for them, because no criticism to Nashville or St. Louis, who they faced in the first 2 rounds. Both teams have good fan bases, but it's not Western Conference Finals in Edmonton energy. That's gonna be intense, and that's why the Oilers really need to win game 2 so that they're not going home down 2-0. That's not really the hole you want to be dealing with. You'd rather be going into those 2 games at home tied 1-1, and then you have a chance to do what we did to the Flames, which is go up 3-1 and then win in 5. Right?
Yeah.
I think Colorado needs to take all the advice from Printzy they can get about winning a wild game 1 with many ups and downs, and then just mailing it in 4 games straight thereafter. That's what we need to see from you, Colorado.
I wanted to get you guys quick thoughts on this one. He only did it once, but what do you think of Nazem Kadri driving to the net and knocking Smitty's helmet off there?
Smitty's helmet is held on with like an old piece of gum. Remember when Lucic hit him? I thought his head fell off.
Yeah,
it didn't. He just wears his helmet all wonky.
So you thought it was just him going, because I felt like he got pushed, but that's what he does, man. He drives to the net hard, and he tries to take a body on the way there. So we'll see if that keeps.
He's a good player, Kadri. Like,
I know he's a great player, man.
He's a really, really good player. Well, I haven't really seen him play much, but I was impressed last night.
Yeah, I got a good laugh at the NHL Instagram put out who's going to be the bigger X factor in the series, and it was Kadri and Hyman, and all these Leafs fans are just crying in the comments.
Toronto, you sad sack fucks.
That's what we can all bond on, us Oilers fans and Flames fans, is fuck the Leafs.
Exactly.
Oh dear. Oh dear,
Anyways,
dear.
Did we touch on everything? I think we navigate all the topics. Is there anything else to bring up?
Big game 2, man.
Yeah.
Let's set them up again. Let's go.
Yeah, it's not a 2-game series. This one's gonna go a while. So gear up, get ready. Can't wait to be minding my own business at home, trying to, do some yard work, get my lawn mowed, and just being assaulted by Oiler fans on FlamesNation social media.
Whoever was running the account last night, I thought it was you, Printzy. I thought I was getting into it with you. I'm like, oh, it's all good. BOA Banter crew.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, not me, man.
I won't reveal on BOA Banter, but there is another person on FlamesNation Twitter, so it was definitely not me. I
hope he knows that everything is in the most malicious spirit possible.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
we are not friends here at Oilers Nation and Flames Nation. You are our friend, Printzy, due to some inexplicable charisma you have. But if you're Flames Nation and you want to get into it with Oilers Nation during the playoff game, buyer beware.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little pregame meeting with some of the fellas and be like, if you're ready to, you gotta dish it out. You gotta be ready to take it back too, because whoever was doing it last night was flying on FlamesNation Twitter, and the Oilers aren't gonna lose all 4 games this series. They're gonna come back and win, and you're gonna have to take it when they.
In the absence of an Avalanche blogosphere, I will keep yelling at Flames Nation for another 6-game series. No problem.
Well, I put this. It was me that put up the picture of the classic Homer Simpson meme of him backing into the bushes with a Flames jersey on and coming out of the Avalanche, and the Colorado Avalanche, like their official Twitter actually picked it up before.
Really?
Yeah, they picked it up and retweeted it and shared it. So that was we had a lot of Avalanche fans on our side last night because of that. So hopefully I can.
Sometimes it's weird to poke into another team's fan base online, just kind of see what's going on, and then you don't really find other people like yourselves, and you're like, oh, all right, very well. And then you just start arguing with yourself again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Oilers fans turning on each other and turning on the team. You can, like, I've seen people tweet, "This team is fucked," and an hour later, they're like, "Woo, we did it!" Like the emotional roller coaster is just speeding up faster and faster, and ups and downs are more and more compressed.
It brings out the best in all of us.
The same accounts that are like still earnestly right now talking about firing Ken Holland for like some random transaction from 2 years ago are the ones who are like, "Wow, you wrote off the Oilers when Dave Tippett was still the coach before Woodcroft. You don't know anything." And it's like, you gotta pick a lane, people. Like, you're all over the grid. Like,
we are in the Western Conference Finals, and we just lost 1 game. Like, there is absolutely nothing to be concerned about, kids.
Find some chill.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy a glass of oil. Let's get oily.
Exactly. That's what we subscribe to here, Printzy. We just drink a glass of legitimate motor oil and effigy to our team. Is it recommended? No. Would Health Canada clutch their pearls and shriek if they knew we encouraged it? Yes.
Yeah, I found it very odd when I went to Nation HQ and Jay offered me a glass of motor oil in a wine glass, and I was like, what the hell have I got myself into?
Just poured you up a nice dram of 5W30.
That's life in Edmonton, man. That's what we do.
That's great, man. Our life expectancy is low.
It is 37 years. We get to see the Oilers reach the conference finals once in each of our lifespans, and it's fantastic.
Exactly. You get 1 Battle of Alberta series, and then you're out.
Exactly.
Well, all right, that's that. So we'll be back after game 2, which is on Thursday. So on Friday morning, we will have another Battle of Alberta Banter of Alberta, Colorado edition for your ears. Thanks
the naming listening. Is clunky. I will admit
it's hard.
We might have a new name by then.
But we changed the name if the series might be over in a week. Like,
you want to just change the name each episode and just see what sticks?
Yeah. But remember, you gotta say it in the title on YouTube, otherwise people won't understand it's new content.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I gotta change the graphics a little bit too. So we'll get her done, because this is shockingly been very fun and enjoyable.
Welcome to the content zone. Best wishes.